The world implodes around me. One moment, I'm meticulously analyzing the faint scent of ancient dust on a forgotten scroll. The next, gravity decides it has had enough of my studies. I tumble, a chaotic jumble of limbs and gear, through a swirling, violent vortex of shimmering light and roaring wind. Then, the brutal impact. Hard, unforgiving earth rushes up to meet me, knocking the breath from my lungs. My vision smears, crimson and green bleeding into an indistinct mess, while a low, guttural pulse reverberates through the very bones of this ravine. It feels as though the ground itself is breathing, a colossal heart beating somewhere deep below. Leela shouts something, but her voice is warped, stretched and compressed into an alien squawk by the vibrating, pressurized air. Kael's hand grips my arm, his face a mask of pure concern, but his words are lost in the sonic distortion. Even my own thoughts feel fractured. My internal sense of direction completely inverted. I try to push myself up, my hands sinking into rich, reddish soil, clinging to thick, fibrous roots that spiderweb across the uneven terrain. Towering trees, their trunks a deep, iridescent cacao, sway unnaturally, their massive branches scraping against the sky. This is a symphony of chaos, a world actively fighting my senses. But despite the disorientation, a familiar, sharp spark ignites inside me. What makes the air hum with such power? My curiosity demands answers. The twisting, narrow trench closes around us, a dizzying spiral of dark, humid air. My vision still swims, the shifting pressure a persistent, rhythmic drum against my temples, blurring the edges of reality. This place feels fundamentally distorted, as if the landscape itself is holding its breath. Each turn of the path reveals more of the raw cacao bark, growing impossibly dense, ancient, and almost petrified in its immense scale. Then, a new texture emerges from the oppressive, heavy gloom, not natural growth, but deliberate, colossal form. My eyes struggle to focus through the residual environmental haze, then snap wide with disbelieving clarity. Massive, terraced structures, not merely clinging to the walls, but carved directly into the living cacao, scale the trench. They feature smooth, geometric planes that defy the organic chaos of the surroundings, spiraling upwards like the skeletal, bleached remains of some impossible forgotten city. A profound, crushing awe roots me to the spot. This isn't just ancient, it feels alien, a silent testament to architects long vanished into the dust of time. The air, already thick with moisture, suddenly ripples with an unusual, cold current. On it, a faint aroma brushes my face, metallic, yes, but laced with an ethereal, sweet perfume that resonates deep within my cursed taste-blind senses. It is a tangible, haunting whisper of forgotten ages. The Lostleaf is here, hidden in the shadows. I push through the hanging, parasitic vines, their fibrous strands brushing my face like cold, damp fingers. The air grows heavy and cloying, sweet with a scent I simply cannot place. Then I see them. 5 figures, cloaked in heavy indigo robes, move with a synchronized, ritualistic grace among the colossal cacao trees. Their faces are entirely obscured by wide, deep hoods, but I feel the weight of their collective gaze. They aren't harvesting beans. Delicate glass vials catch a luminous emerald sap oozing from jagged gashes on the tree trunks. The liquid glows, pulsing faintly with a rhythmic light that anchors me to the spot. One figure, significantly taller than the others, turns fully towards me. I freeze, cold dread pricking at my skin. An intense, silent scrutiny passes between us, thick with unspoken questions and ancient warnings. I raise my empty hand slowly, a gesture of peace and humility. The figure inclines its head, then extends a hand. In its palm rests a single, dark cacao pod, rough and surprisingly small. I take it. The surface is oddly warm, humming against my skin. A faint, bitter aroma, far too subtle for my curse to truly identify, seems to emanate from the pod. They watch me, a silent, watchful collective. I nod in thanks, clutching the pod tightly. The figures return to their glowing harvest. My mind races, dissecting the implications of their strange presence. I press myself against the crimson-stained bark, the air thick with the smell of fermenting cacao and the weight of silent, watchful eyes. The local harvesters move with an unsettling, near-religious reverence around specific trees. Not just any cacao tree, I realize, my gaze sharpening. It's a distinct, deliberate pattern. They meticulously avoid a particular wilting herb, a pale, almost translucent vine snaking around the trunks. It shimmers faintly, a ghostly, sickly green. One harvester accidentally brushes it with a tool. A sharp, hushed intake of breath from the others. A collective, trembling shudder. He quickly douses his implement in a pungent oil, his movements strained and visibly panicked. I watch them, a realization dawning. Their fear isn't of the tree itself, but of the life the Lostleaf demands to sustain its glow. If these experienced harvesters fear it, it's because they understand it feeds on more than just soil and water. This isn't just an ingredient. It is a parasite, and my path into the heart of this trench just became significantly more treacherous. The harvester looks toward the dark canopy, then back at his companions, his eyes wide. My heart sinks as I realize that the danger here is not just getting caught. It is the environment itself. I must be careful, or I will be the next thing this forest consumes. The thick, sweet earth aroma, now laced with something metallic and strange, guides me deeper into the crimson trench. My senses are on high alert, tuning into the subtle, dangerous vibrations of the living landscape. My eyes finally land on them. The colossal crimson cacao trees, monstrously ancient, their bark a mosaic of deep garnet and obsidian. Around their thickest, gnarled roots, clinging in vibrant, almost defiant clumps, is the Lostleaf herb. Its broad, deep emerald leaves pulse with an internal luminescence, a soft, inviting glow against the perpetual twilight. From its delicate surface, a faint, almost imperceptible shimmering oil exudes, tracing tiny, iridescent rivers down the bark like liquid starlight. This is it. This is the source. The low, guttural thrum of the trench folks chanting intensifies, becoming sharper, more focused, a wall of sound pressing against me. They shift, blocking my path, their communal anger a palpable force. They are actively guarding these trees. Every second I spend observing feels like a precious drop spilling from a rapidly draining hourglass. My initial disoriented curiosity has burned away, replaced by a fierce, singular obsession. I need that herb and its ancient grain oil. The challenge is undeniable, the desire paramount. My opportunity feels fleeting. The light from the herb is already flickering as the sun begins to shift. The oil is losing its potency. I need it now, before it vanishes forever. I hold out the shimmering salt crystals, carefully arranged on a polished obsidian disc. For the Lostleaf, I say, my voice steady, trying to project respect. The lead local, an elder with eyes like obsidian shards themselves, barely glances at my offering. Behind him, The colossal roots of the crimson cacao trees pulse faintly, like slow, rhythmic heartbeats, under the trench's oppressive, humid canopy. My companion, Leela, tenses beside me. This negotiation is clearly not going as planned. A specific kind of finesse is needed here. This is important, I must remember. Diplomat. The elder ignores the crystals entirely. His gnarled finger, scarred and thick, jabs emphatically, not at me, but at an elaborate stone carving on the trench wall. It depicts a grotesque, multi-limbed creature, its root-like appendages piercing the earth, its gaping maw swallowing tiny, screaming figures who dared disturb the sacred ground. The imagery is terrifyingly vivid. The message, painfully clear: do not touch. My carefully prepared trade goods feel suddenly, laughably insignificant. A cold dread settles in my stomach. The easy acquisition I'd hoped for evaporates, replaced by a chilling understanding of deep-seated reverence and primal fear. My objective just became significantly more complicated. The very air around us thickens with a silent, hostile warning. We are outsiders in a land that demands total submission, and we are quickly running out of peaceful options to proceed. I cling to the slick, crimson-stained rock face, the rhythmic thud of distant pods hitting the muddy floor acting as a relentless, nerve-wracking drumbeat against my ears. My focus narrows, dissecting the movements of the locals below. They gather the fallen cacao fruit with practiced, almost ritualistic grace, always before the daily patrol makes its rounds. This isn't just about ingredients anymore. It's a critical, high-stakes study in patterns and vulnerabilities. I track the cloaked figures, the pod keepers, their movements stiff and predictably mechanical. My internal chronometer whirs, logging each step and each shift in the guard's patrol. For hours, I've absorbed their routes, noting the precise, predictable changes in their guard rotations. Dawn light, a mere whisper of violet through the trench, offers the only true weakness. That's when the swirling humid mists, thick as raw dough, billow up from the abyss below, clinging to the massive, convoluted root systems that crisscross these chasm walls. A fleeting, precious window opens. One group of pod keepers retreats, their forms blurring as another emerges from the shroud of fog. In that brief, disorienting lull, the deepest, most potent roots are perfectly veiled. My fingers twitch with an almost primal anticipation. This is a perfectly calculated strike, a precise counter-response. My focus sharpens, and I hold my breath. The world melts away, leaving only the intricate synchronized sequence of events. The timing is everything. The crimson mist clings to my skin, slick and cold, as I reach with the borrowed bamboo scoop. Lostleaf herbs shimmer under the first weak light, their broad surfaces beaded with glistening ancient grain oil. Kael, positioned on a high ledge above, gives a sharp, bird-like whistle, a signal. I freeze immediately. A heavy, rhythmic tread on the trench floor echoes through the canyon, growing rapidly louder. A scout. I drop low, pressing into the thorny crimson foliage, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. The scout's heavy, mud-caked boots scrape past, just inches away. I can see the cracked leather of their soles through the brush. They stop abruptly, tilting their hooded head, listening intently to the forest. The air fills with the metallic tang of their armor and the damp, earthy scent of the trenches. I hold my breath until my lungs burn, praying the thick mist hides my silhouette. They grunt, a sound of deep irritation, and turn away, marching further into the dark gloom. I exhale a shuddering, silent breath, my hands trembling as I reach for the remaining precious droplets. When the sound finally fades, I move with renewed, frantic energy. Each scoop is swift, precise, and calculated. Triumph surges through me. I've done it. The herbs and the oil are now mine. I must get back to the others before the guard returns. The communal hearth pulses with soft crimson light, casting long, dancing shadows across the trench walls. I pour the ancient grain oil into the heavy iron pot. Its viscous gold catches the glow. Then I add the strange, fibrous local grains. Next, the Lostleaf herb, crushed into a fine, fragrant powder, floats on the surface like emerald dust. A deep, expectant hush falls over the gathered locals, their eyes wide and unblinking, fixed on my every movement. I pour in the mineral-rich trench water, watching it coil and churn with the oil, a nascent vortex forming. With the gnarled wooden spoon, I begin to stir, a slow, deliberate rhythm. The mixture resists at first, thick and unyielding. But as my focus intensifies, as the stirring becomes a silent mantra, an impossible transformation begins. The gray grains bleed into hues of cerulean, then amethyst, swirling together as if painting themselves with liquid starlight. Whispers ripple through the onlookers, a collective gasp of genuine awe. The oil shimmers, not reflecting light, but bending it, distorting the air above the pot into wavering mirages. It feels ritualistic and primal, like coaxing forgotten magic from the earth itself. The vibrant colors pulse, coalescing into a shimmering uniform cream with a texture that is impossibly smooth. This is no ordinary risotto. This is refinement on an elemental level. A triumph. Overriding all past dread, I lift the spoon, the royal tongue risotto shimmering under the shifting deep-sea light. My tongue registers the familiar, muted textures, creamy, yet with a subtle resistance, then a warming wave. But then, it's not just texture. A blinding flash of amber glyphs erupts behind my eyes, each symbol burning itself into my mind's core, not seen, but fully understood. It is a torrent of ancient knowledge crashing through my every thought. The chaotic chant of the locals, echoing moments ago, suddenly resolves into perfect melodic words in my head. The great cycle turns. The heartstone remembers. The weaver of worlds awakens. Their voices, once just guttural noise, now resonate with profound meaning. A history lesson whispered from ages long forgotten. My hand instinctively curls, and I look down. A faint, swirling pattern of dark cacao, intricate and alive, pulses on my palm, mirroring the glyphs I just tasted. It feels like a brand, yet it's warm and comforting. The world tilts. The portal, directly behind Leela, shimmers violently, the crimson-black surface churning, signaling our imminent, unavoidable departure. This isn't just a meal. This is a key, a direct connection. My taste blindness, once a curse, now feels like a conduit to something far greater, something profoundly ancient and alive. I finally see, or rather, I finally understand what we have stumbled into, a war of worlds. And it is only just beginning. That's a wrap for this world. If you want to keep exploring the multiverse with me and see what ingredients we hunt next, hit that subscribe button and join the crew. The next portal opens soon. Don't get left behind. See ya!